We can't wait till Saturday.
What was the offer, official offer to Caitlin?
It was 2 years, $5 million a year. And plus, we were going to do cool stuff with merch. And
Caitlin Clark just threw her Europe contract out the window, and all because she's the type who values her roots and her fans more than any stack of foreign cash athletes these days. They're usually chasing that big fat paycheck overseas without a second thought. Who cares about loyalty when there's more money on the table?
Now, I feel like there could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer.
But Caitlin's built differently. When the contract talks were wrapping up, she was invited back to Iowa, and instead of running to European shores, she picked home. Let's be honest, this move probably left everyone's jaw on the floor, especially a certain someone who can't stop talking about paycheck woesies.
The money is there, and if these owners are smart with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players going overseas and possibly not returning.
Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal? But hold on, when someone hands you the chance to play in Europe, especially with a paycheck that would absolutely crush anything the WNBA can offer, you're expected to say yes.
And it's going to be the top 30 athletes where we'll play 3-on-3, 1-on-1, and just be home, be in market, and be able to be, in a market that isn't a W team, but continue to grow the game and grow brand.
So European contract for athletes like Clark don't just come with numbers, they come with some serious luxury. We're talking top-tier accommodation, VIP everything, and a whole new fan base waiting to scream your name. To most athletes, it's like hitting the career jackpot, a one-way ticket to fame and fortune that most players can't refuse. But in the past, the only on-record revenue that I could find of the WNBA is $60 million. Now there has been rumors, there's been reports, there's been many things that say that the WNBA was projected to make $180 to $200 million in revenue for the 2023 season. But Caitlin Clark, she took one look at all of that and said, nah, I'm good. She put Iowa for Europe, choosing loyalty over luxury. Just think about it. While Europe's best are out there raking in six figures, WNBA rookies are bringing home between $62,000 and $75,000, and Clark's no exception. Even with her Rookie of the Year shine, her WNBA salary is pocket change compared to what she could have earned overseas. But instead of following the herd and cashing in, she saw something far more precious right here at home. Applause. And it all came to life when she returned to Iowa for a homecoming like no other at King Stadium. The place was buzzing with thousands of fans, old teammates, and coaches all there for her. They weren't just there to cheer, they were there to let her know that she means something to them. For Caitlin, it wasn't about a paycheck, it was about showing up for the place that helped her grow, for the people who stood by her every step of the way. She turned down Europe not for a contract or a crowd, but because this was personal. And let's be real, that kind of loyalty is practically unheard of these days. If you guys want like a full breakdown, definitely go check out that video. When we look at the numbers, I'll just do like a really quick scenario for you. When we look at the numbers and when we look at what the WNBA has earned over the past years and the entirety of the WNBA, the numbers actually make sense. It's now, don't think for a second that this was some small thing. She gave up European basketball is not just a pay bump, it's an...
If you guys want like a full breakdown, definitely go check out that video. When we look at the numbers, I'll just do like a really quick scenario for you. When we look at the numbers and when we look at what the WNBA has earned over the past years and the entirety of the WNBA, the numbers actually make sense. It's
all access pass to everything a star could want. European clubs go above and beyond to keep their big names happy with all the perks you can imagine. For many WNBA players, it's a golden escape from the tight budgets and packed schedules back in the States. They get to live it up in glamorous cities like Istanbul, Moscow, or Barcelona and earn double, sometimes triple what the WNBA could ever offer. Walking away from that kind of lifestyle and paycheck, that's no easy feat. Caitlin Clark, the rest of our Iowa team back on campus and celebrating their accomplishments. So why did Clark walk away? Because her connection to Iowa isn't just about basketball, it's about family. Her homecoming wasn't some publicity stunt, it was a reunion packed with love and memories. There were her old teammates like Gabby Marshall and Kate Martin ready with and laughs that only years of playing side by side can bring. Her coach Lisa Blur, who's more of a mentor than anything, couldn't hide how proud she was this Wasn't a team, it was family. Caitlyn turning down Europe to stay close to these bonds, that's more than loyalty, that's a statement. I think he was even talk about a percentage and team ownership. We were going to, we believe her coming into the big three would be such a big deal that all boats would rise and the league would benefit from the attention, and to see if she can actually do it against when Caitlin Clark passed up a multi-million-dollar opportunity in Europe to stay close to Iowa. It wasn't just a casual choice, it was a bold, straight from the heart statement. Hawkeye Nation had always been there for her, and this was her way of saying, you stood by me, so I'm sticking around for you. Caitlyn is a great teammate, and if she wasn't a great teammate, it might be hard. If she was walked around like she was the star, she doesn't walk around like that. For Caitlyn, the connection to Hawkeye Nation was beyond priceless. These fans weren't just watching her games, they were her people, practically her second family, and her homecoming at Kinnick Stadium said it all. Thousands of fans filled the stands, decked out in black and gold, holding signs with her name and number like they were welcoming a local legend, which, let's face it, she absolutely is. That wasn't just a crowd cheering, it was a sea of familiar faces, people who'd been rooting for her since her first shot at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Choosing Iowa over Europe was about honoring those rots, because Caitlyn's ties to her hometown run way deeper than a contract. Applause. This loyalty didn't come out of nowhere either. Iowa fans had been with her through every game, every record-breaking NCAA moment. And even after she joined the Indiana Fever in the WNBA, they organized watch party, spam social media with her highlights, and traveled miles to see her play. Even on the national stage, Hawkeye fans made sure Caitlyn felt that hometown support. It's rare to find a fan base that devoted, and Caitlyn knew it. Caitlyn, you secured Rookie of the Year and First Team WNBA, but I'd have to ask, what was it like playing each other? Well, minus the 4 times I lost to Kate pretty good, but it was fun. Obviously, getting to live out your dream and do it at that highest level was pretty cool, and it wasn't just the fans. Her homecoming was a reunion with people who shaped her path, like her teammates Gabby Marshall and Kate Martin. They were her people, her in it together crew who'd shared every high and low right alongside her. This wasn't just a catch-up, it was a reminder of everything they built together on that court. And her coach Lisa Blur, she's in Caitlyn's guiding light, watching her transform from a star-eyed freshman into a WNBA powerhouse. Seeing her back at Kinnick wasn't just emotional for the fans, it was a full-circle moment for Blutter, who knew Caitlyn's success on a whole different level. Thank you, and our careers were incredible, and a lot of it was because of you guys, so we feel very fortunate to have played at a place like this, and we're happy to be back. So thank you, and let's get a win all of this.
Caitlyn, you secured Rookie of the Year and First Team WNBA, but I have to ask, what was it like playing each other?
Well, minus the 4 times I lost to Kate pretty good, but it was fun. Obviously, getting to live out your dream and do it at that highest level is pretty cool.
The friendships, the memories, the loyalty are what money can't buy. The bonds Caitlyn's built are irreplaceable. So while other players might be packing their bags for a bigger paycheck overseas, Caitlyn's decision was a loud and clear reminder that some things like loyalty and roots are worth more than any bank balance, not even her Rookie of the Year title changed that about her. With a WNBA spotlight on her, Caitlyn could have gone wherever the money was, but instead she came back to Iowa, keeping her relationships and her sense of home above all else. Staying grounded like this, it's practically unheard of in today's sports world, where fame and fortune can easily steal an athlete away. But for Caitlyn, Iowa isn't just a place on the map, it's home, and the people who supported her journey from hard fans to teammates make it irreplaceable. You never know how quickly they are going to adapt to the WNBA game coming from college, and I think that Caitlyn has done surprisingly well how quickly she's adapted to this game. And if you're new to basketball and only hopped on the bandwagon because of Caitlin Clark, buckle up, you miss a wild ride. In her Hawkeye days, Caitlyn's time with Iowa was filled with jaw-dropping moments that took the program to a whole new level. We're talking feats like her triple doubles, a rare accomplishment she achieved 3 times just in the 2022 to 2023 season alone, and that buzzer beater against Indiana on February 26, 2023. It didn't just win the game, it practically stopped time that shot her cold as ice. Focus and her ability to seize a game's final seconds, it became an iconic moment, making headlines and turning her into the basketball legend we know today. Give me a seat, K is coming. Laughter, back, applause. Why? And let's be real, it wasn't just her ridiculous skills that took Iowa to back-to-back Final Fours in 2023 and 2024. It was her press, a combination of confidence and consistency that pushed the Hawkeyes into territories they'd only dreamed of. Caitlyn didn't just play for Iowa, she completely transformed the program. Fans didn't merely tune in for her games, they became part of a movement. Women's basket team being honored on the field moments ago, and there is the legend Caitlyn Clark with some bling on her hand, Big Ten tournament championship rings, And there's her coach, another Iowa coaching legend, Lisa Blutter, who of course retired after last season. Jan Jensen, now the head coach of the program, and all kinds of hardware on the field. Carver Hawkeye Arena turned into a fortress packed with record-breaking crowds and buzzing with an energy that could probably be felt from miles away. Each game was more than a match. It was an experience. Caitlin's presence on that court wasn't just visible, it was electric, uniting fans in a way that few athletes ever. Applause. Du Clark's impact goes way beyond stats and trophies. Her influence lives in her fans, who look to her as someone who embodies Iowa's heart and spirit by choosing loyalty over financial.
Seat! Give me a seat, please! Caitlin is coming back?